Filipino kid reincarnates Elvis on stage, loudly crying face. Guitar judges can't believe their ears. The lights dimmed inside the Grand Hall of America's Got Talent, and for a brief second, the world held its breath. The audience whispered, craning their necks toward the small figure walking onto the massive stage, a 13-year-old Filipino boy named Miguel Santos. His jeans were slightly faded, his shirt tucked neatly into a thrift store jacket, and his old leather shoes had clearly seen better days. But when he smiled shyly into the spotlight, there was something about him, an aura, a quiet confidence, that made everyone pause. "Hello there, young man," Simon Cowell said, leaning forward with curiosity. "What's your name, and where are you from?" Miguel adjusted the microphone. "My name is Miguel. I'm from the Philippines. This is my first time in America." His accent was soft but proud. The crowd clapped warmly. "And what are you going to do for us today?" "I'm going to sing a song, by Elvis Presley," Miguel said, glancing at the judges. The audience chuckled softly. "Elvis? Really? A kid from Manila trying to take on the king?" But Miguel didn't flinch. He stepped back, took a deep breath, and when the first note hit, something magical happened. It wasn't just that he sounded like Elvis, it was as if the spirit of Elvis had stepped into his tiny frame. His voice was deep, soulful, trembling with nostalgia and fire. The boy swayed, his lip curled, and the moment he belted out, "Can't Help Falling in Love," the crowd collectively gasped. Some covered their mouths. Some reached for their phones. And Simon, Mr. I've Seen It All, just sat there, eyes wide, a rare smile creeping onto his face. By the time Miguel hit the final note, the entire auditorium was on its feet. The applause was thunderous. Tears streamed down faces. Sofia Vergara wiped her eyes. Heidi Klum whispered, "He's just a child, how does he sing like that?" But Miguel wasn't looking at the judges or the crowd. His eyes were closed, head tilted slightly upward, as if singing to someone only he could see. When the noise finally quieted, Simon leaned forward again, his voice softer this time. "Miguel, that was unbelievable. But tell me, why Elvis? Why that song?" Miguel hesitated. Then, with trembling hands, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a crumpled photo. "This is my father," he said. "He used to sing Elvis songs every night before he went to sleep. He said music makes the world kind. When he got sick, we didn't have money for treatment. So, I sang for him every night in the hospital. He used to say, 'Miguel, one day, you'll sing for the world.'" A hush fell over the hall. "He passed away last year," Miguel continued softly. "I promised him I'd make it here. So, this is for him." The audience stood again, slower this time, not in excitement, but in reverence. Simon's eyes glistened as he pressed his golden buzzer. Gold confetti rained down as Miguel stared upward, clutching the photo against his heart. But that wasn't the end of Miguel's story, it was just the beginning. In the weeks that followed, clips of his performance flooded social media. Filipino Kid channels Elvis trended across the world. Millions watched his trembling hands, his angelic voice, his tear-streaked face. But what most people didn't see was what Miguel did after that night. Instead of buying himself something fancy from the little prize money he got, Miguel sent it back home, to his mother, who was still working long hours at a street food stall in Manila. He asked her to use some of it to buy new shoes for his classmates who walked barefoot to school. "Papa said kindness is music too," he wrote in a letter. "It makes hearts dance." The show producers found out about it and shared his letter on national television. Overnight, donations poured in for his small town. A local hospital received funding. A new music school opened, named the Santos Center for Hope. Months later, during the finals, Miguel returned to the stage. The lights, the cameras, the crowd, it all felt surreal. This time, he didn't look nervous. He carried his father's photo in his jacket pocket and looked straight into the lens as if he were singing for the entire world. He chose to perform "If I Can Dream." His voice trembled with emotion, but it carried something bigger than sound: hope, love, and the raw truth that even the smallest light can shine in the darkest places. When he sang the line, "There must be peace and understanding sometime," the audience stood, arms raised, swaying together. By the end of the performance, Miguel broke down in tears. The crowd chanted his name, the judges hugged him, and Simon whispered, "You didn't just bring Elvis back, you brought something even greater." Miguel didn't win the show that season. But he won something far more enduring: the world's heart. Fans sent letters from across the globe, telling him how his song reminded them of their lost loved ones, their forgotten dreams, their faith in kindness. Years later, Miguel would return to that same stage, not as a contestant, but as a guest performer. Now taller, with the same soulful eyes, he looked into the crowd and said, "My father once told me that music makes the world kind. I didn't understand then, but now, I do. Every song is a chance to heal someone." And when he began to sing once more, his voice deeper, wiser, but still filled with that same humble warmth, the audience closed their eyes and listened. Because in that moment, they all felt it too. That love, kindness, and hope, like music, never truly die. They live on, in every heart that dares to sing.